Oh, you got one sent? You sent me? Okay.
The
Hey,
Hilton.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the chat. We're going to be right back. Got a couple of those coming up. Mike's going to do some Chippendale stripping, and then we're going to start
Chippendale,
the
baby.
show, man. Then we're going to.
Got my banana. Where is it?
Anyway, we're going to be starting this show sooner or later. Anyway, well, hang on, people. I can't stop laughing at. Oh shit! Anyway.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Hello. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Are we
Whoa.
back? Are we
Where's
back?
you?
Are we back? Oh no, we're not really back.
I lowered it down because I thought that thing was going to be blasting that one guy's show with a cross. It was loud.
Oh, because it probably will be.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
Oh yes, are we back? Are we back? No, I don't think we're back.
You know what? I got to say,
Nothing
man.
but this-
Hey, good. Hi, guys. Hi,
Hey,
guys.
Sean, I
gotta
think
say,
something's
I like
fucking with us.
that.
Oh, wait.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestro, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRN talkradio.com. Esoteric programming at its finest.
Or symbol, the trident.
You damn hippie, Skippy, or Skippy hippie, or Skippy hippie, whatever you say there. Welcome to the chat, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good time out there. It's Saturday night. Well, I don't have a life. See, I was here last night. I was here tonight. I was here earlier today. I know, man. Radio can kick your ass sometimes when you're busy. I see.
I like to do
I
programming.
see we got a full room. We're supposed to have a guest, Charis. I don't know where she's at. She must be hiding out.
I like the new
Yes.
programming, dude. I like the new shows that are out there.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of good shows on the network, a lot of fun shows.
Yeah, I've noticed that the new shows. I'm trying to grasp my head around them sometimes.
Like, what's with the muscle paranormal guy? Is he like, because he's flexing, he's like
I am Flynn.
I was getting punching those out like, I'm gonna put you up.
Hey, U.S. Army vet has a question for you, Joe.
Hey, what's up, U.S. Army vet? Where you hiding? Now, let me switch over. What you got? You want to flip that up on the thing like that? What shows are you looking for? Right now, everything should be up to date. Except for Thursday and Friday night, everything else should be up to date. So if you're something you're looking for specific, you can do a search on SoundCloud or YouTube or somewhere. If you can't find it, send it to me and I'll see where it's at. That's the best way. Yeah, man. That's the best way to do that, man. Yeah.
So how is everybody tonight? I mean,
I'm smoking happy, man.
Smoke.
It was good, man. I watched Donnie Darko this afternoon. That was cool. It was all right. Since we talked about it last night. Had never seen it. It's got good people in it. I mean, you know what? It's like one of those mind screw type of things. You know, so one of those.
Well, Leah was telling me she's pregnant with 3 aliens.
I wouldn't watch it again.
The most action I've had ever.
Listen to hey, Leah.
3 aliens. 3 aliens.
Hello.
Was like 3? Is it the same 3 aliens? I mean, it's 1 alien 3 times, or 3 aliens?
That's her private business, dude. I mean, how many aliens has she?
I'm an alien investigator.
Entirely up there.
Alien, and I get to look for it.
It's not really a broadcasting type of thing.
Alien, anything is a broadcast. Just saying. Look, they did the guy. The guy had it. What was that, Leah?
They probably enjoyed it more than I did.
I see.
Between her and the National Enquirer.
Yes.
It's it's like the taco aliens. The guy who had the aliens roll up like a burrito. The burrito aliens. I'm sorry, out in Arizona. He had them rolled in something. They looked like giant burritos. Because he rolled them up and stuck them in his deep freeze.
I think from their little round mouths, they probably just eat like boneless wings. You know what I mean? Like
I don't think they eat anything like us.
type of thing.
I mean, we'll eventually one day we'll probably get to where we absorb our food too. It'll be easier, less mess.
Yeah, they probably got that Soylent Green, man. You know what I'm saying?
We might be the Soylent Green.
Have you guys seen all that crap on TikTok about what is his name, Sean? That he came out and did this interview with somebody, and now he's hiding with his family.
I don't go on TikTok, man.
I don't do TikTok.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we're anti-TikTok here, brother.
Kind of am.
All right.
It's
TikTok. Screw China. No, I mean really, like you know what TikTok is to me? It's super obnoxious. It's not as obnoxious as Twitter /X of just people arguing. If you want to go there, just drop a bomb and just say something really horrible and outrageous. People just jump on that like piranha, and it's fun. It's fun to do that. Don't get me wrong, but whether people agree with me or not, I could care less. So like, what's the point of it?
If TikTok wouldn't entice random people to stop traffic and do stupid little dances in the middle of the road or at the bottom of an escalator or in a dressing room or
Trump dance.
case may be, I probably wouldn't mind it, but I think
Right.
it's just used by brainless people.
Facebook is bad enough taking people's rights away.
Like that either. I'm just not really into social media, I guess.
You
Well, that's
anti-social.
how I learned. That's how I learned on what's going on in the news is on TikTok.
We have a buttload of social media accounts I have to keep up with, so it's nice to see them all. When I see something flowing across all the pages, then I look at it more seriously. If I just see it like one company, not the other ones, then I don't pay as much attention to it. It's just more like bullshit. And but no, Jimmy, I agree. For every one article that's truthful and good on TikTok, there's probably 50 that are not. But TikTok, like X, are honest now. They allow you to post. A lot of even Facebook is still kind of funny about what you can post. YouTube, you're wasting time. Don't even use certain words on YouTube. Anything dealing with the pandemic is you're going to get banned if you talk about it. Yeah, it's just Facebook is a little bit easier. Facebook is more worried about copyright infringements, like when we play music.
Well, isn't YouTube the same way?
Yeah, well, YouTube is too, but YouTube will just tell you can't monetize it, or you have to share monetization, or delete it out of your thing.
Like my
Facebook
ghost
actually
hunting
blocks the
videos,
video.
because some of them dealt with suicide, you know, and then they came after me and they were like, you know, you can't monetize.
Anything like anything. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about this kid. I shouldn't say this guy. This guy who did the French court. I haven't heard. He was making accusations on Facebook. I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't seen the Facebook page. Nothing. I guess Facebook took it down.
I don't think it matters anymore. Accusations, crimes.
Not so much
evidence.
Facebook. The,
You know,
the big story going on, though, is the Tesla in front of Trump Towers in Vegas. They claim that dude was 18-year-old Green Beret, 18 years, Green Beret, highly metals, top of the line, and they believe he's not dead.
you know, man, a PTSD case.
Somebody's
I
dead.
think that's all it really was. The guy suffering. Obviously, he had relationship problems, and his wife couldn't take it anymore, and had to break up with him, and what pushed him over.
But
I mean,
Michael, there's
happened,
more
so
to the story, dude.
thank
though.
God he didn't kill anybody else. You know, he took himself out. Whatever, man. And it's nice if he could have gotten some kind of you know, therapy to stop him from that, if that even exists.
It doesn't. It's all fake. There's
Yeah, I mean,
there's
so
no real help.
you know, the guy lost it, and you know that's kind of what it is. I mean, there's no deeper meaning to it. The Tesla held together.
Yeah, Tesla saved a bunch of people's lives.
Elon's next commercial is that Tesla blowing up. Keep things together.
You're nuts.
Well, no, it saved a lot of people's lives. They even admitted to it. If it wouldn't have been built the way it was built, the side panel would have just blew out. It would have killed everybody sitting in the.
That'd be cool.
Why are you
if it
such
worked.
Elon sympathizer?
Facts are facts. You don't ain't the one that said that.
guy.
Leah, do you like Leon, whatever his name is? Elon?
No, not real. I mean, I don't have anything
She's jealous
against him, but I don't see why people think he's so special.
Special.
I just don't think he's done all that much for the world. I think his accomplishments were self-serving at the end of the day.
No, I like the rocket programs and there's things I like about it.
There's a lot. All that neurotech stuff. That's all for people. None of that. He's. You got to remember, Tesla.
Yeah, rich people.
No, anybody. It's if they're using it, they're already trying to use it in vets so they can use it so they can walk and talk and do things they couldn't do before with their hands. Elon is weird in the fact that he does want to help the basic man. It's one of the reasons he wants to go to Mars. He wants to spread out the population so we survive. You don't want to.
Well, I think he should focus that energy on fixing stuff that's wrong with the planet. Like there's
he does. He
stuff
fixes a lot of things wrong with the planet. He's only one guy. He shouldn't have to do it all. I mean, you got George Soros out there. You got Mark Cuban out there. George
Soros is not a good person.
And I mean, he just got an award for the president on how good of a person he was today.
Well,
yesterday. Oh, I agree with you. I think he's a low-life piece of shit, but still, and all these guys could be helping him. They're not doing.
He's a criminal. He aided and abetted millions of illegal aliens to come into the United States illegally, and try to break our economical system. I mean,
check this out.
That's going to be sorted out one day, and then they're gonna really start looking at people that do that, and what his motivation was to do that in the first place. Look at the wake of murders, rapes, theft. I mean, everything, how it's impacted our money, and our justice system, and then all for what? All for what? what do we get out of it? You know, we're not bringing the best and the brightest to help the country grow. You know, we can't take on the world's third world population, their problems and their woes.
All I
You
can
know,
tell you is Elon loves all humans. I mean, come on, he gives away the damn Starlink to all kind of.
Well, you look what Elon did for the people down in North Carolina and Tennessee. He gave all them Starlinks to people who couldn't
they
have
should
no
give all of
communication.
us one of those
And he
Teslas.
sent down 2 damn truckload, 2 18-wheels full of food. You know,
I
if
see him
everybody
getting
there would have
stuck
done that
all
in
the
this country,
time,
there'd have been plenty of food.
getting stuck in the mud.
So,
I see him getting pulled out by Fords, which is kind of funny considering Ford.
but one of the funniest things I ever seen is when I pulled out a big old F-150 four-wheel drive, big super engine. I hooked him up to my little RAV4 and pulled him out of the mud. It was just so funny. I had a four-wheel drive RAV4, just pulled him right out to it. No big horsepower.
Yeah,
No
Rav
force.
Fords are pretty good though and reliable.
They are. They're there. And this was one of the older models, man. They had a little more power. Still short and stockier too. But those cars were weird. I'd park it sometimes straight up and down like this and back it out and stuff. They had this thing underneath it, so if you got in a rocky terrain and you wanted to drive across it, you could. You'd have to get out and manually do it, but on each suspension you could adjust them so that when you went over the rocks it wouldn't bust your suspension until you got to smooth ground again and then you could set up and go.
Yeah, I got my Jeep's trail rated.
Johnny Topside, what's up?
The thing's a monster. So I refuse to get rid of it. Actually, they don't make them like
Well,
that.
gas is fixed.
So when they make something good, they stop making it because
Oh, you know what I found out today? My friend, he traded in his Maverick for a Ford Bronco, and the only thing different is it's a little bit more heavier. The Bronco's heavier than the Maverick. That's it.
Have you seen how those Mavericks are zip tied together?
I have one. Zip tied?
Yeah.
I got one. It ain't zip tied.
Okay.
It's the best vehicle I ever had.
duct tape on a Ford. Ford's a
Oh
duct tape.
man.
You can always smell a Ford in the parking lot because it smells like antifreeze. It's like leaking the antifreeze. You know, you can always sniff out a Ford. It's like there's a Ford over there, man.
Maybe a Ford car. I don't know trucks though.
The trucks are more reliable, of course. Trucks, vans,
They don't
vans,
need-
man, they kick ass, you know. But yeah, but the cars, you know, they're
I've
just
had a
lower-
Ford
lower.
all my life, and I'm 62, and I love Fords.
I won't
I
knock
will
you
not
for
go
it.
nowhere else.
I love Ford pickup trucks. I'm not a
Some
big
people
fan
love
of their
their
cars,
I won't knock it.
but I love their trucks. They're the best truck I've ever driven.
I've had mainly Jeeps, man, and I have my Commander now. And it's just, you know, it whips ass, and I've driven it through everything. It could tread 2.5 feet of water. It's trailer rated. You know, it's like it's reliable. I go out and get it and drive away, man. It's got super hot heat in the winter time and the heated seats. So I mean, you know, what more do you need? So
Philip, no, Ford is number one again this year.
holds a lot of stuff too.
I think
And in
since
the
they
years
started
I've had
making-
it, I haven't really had to do anything. Well, I mean, this and
Well, that's
that.
why I like Toyotas, man. Put some gas in it and drive. They'll go
Toyota.
fast.
What is so big about Toyotas? I mean,
Not trucks. We're talking
You know
about
what I
cars.
can't
They
do? I
last
can't,
forever.
I can't do the Toyota, man. I'm 6'5". I can't do it.
Well, no, there's versions of Toyota you could use. You could use one of
The
these.
There's
Sequoia
no
is
tall
really
person
big.
Toyota ever. Never.
Toyota Sequoia is really big.
Yeah, if you get one of the SUVs, you can do it. You could get my car.
Big.
I'm a
You might
Camry now.
think
You
the car
do.
is big, but the space inside is not. You know, and if I have to stretch my neck getting in, and that's usually what happens. I got even the freaking the Ram truck. I had to like squeeze myself in there. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You know, my Commander, I just get in and get out, get in and get out. My other friends who are tall get in there and they're like, oh my god, this is nice. You can reach out in front of you and not be touching the windshield.
You're not getting it. You'd have to squeeze yourself into my Camry.
But you know what? They don't make them like that. The one I had before that was a Cherokee, man, 1985. 4 on the floor, had a slant 6. That thing ran. Had power. It was great on gas.
you know what? Nothing beats the old car. My best car I ever had was the '73 Chevy Impala. That thing was a boat, man.
Impala, man. You know what?
That thing was a boat.
In that age range, I had a whole bunch of Camaros and Firebirds, Z28, Camaro, 70, all about 1979. not anything after 79, because that was the good years, 77, 78, 79. And unless you go back to the late 60s, you know what I mean? But and then in the 70s, like in that mid area, I don't know what the hell happened to cars. So you just got like the Mustang. I don't know what happened to that. Like it used to be the coolest car on the road. Then it became just like this pregnant roller skate until they kind of got in their heads again to make a real car. So, oh my God, I don't know.
Things. I know. Had
Mustang.
fun out. A friend of mine had a GMC Sierra 1500 that he caught on fire, burnt to the engine. He had a 350, 380 or 350. A friend of mine had an old taxi cab, an old Impala taxi cab, with a big, huge white one. I mean, this thing was huge. It was like an Olds 980 machine. It had 396 in it that had been completely redone to about a 440. Took it out, dropped it into this truck. This truck was a beast. You could hardly even keep this truck on the road. It was so fast. It was just. I sat there one night. I just got off work, and I just sat there and punched it. Blew both back tires. Just, didn't even hardly spun. They were spinning so fast it blew them both. It was. Then tried to kill a friend of mine. The accelerator got stuck. It wouldn't shut off. It was running full throttle. He didn't know what to do with it. Just sit on the brake until he could get it to turn off. It was great. And then they caught on fire with me again. The guy who had it before me caught on fire, and one day I was driving to work, and all of a sudden, big flames started gushing out from underneath the hood.
That's never a good sign.
So, no, it was the guy said that he thinks the distributor was somehow throwing sparks into the car. I said, well, that wouldn't make the truck catch on fire.
You know, the thing is, newer technology is better. For motors, they go 200,000-300,000 miles now. You know what I mean? You know, back in the 70s, 80s, they're good for maybe 70 or 80,000 miles, and they're done. And then you got to redo them, but they're cheaper to buy. They're cheaper to buy new. They're cheaper to replace. You know, so 6 of one, half dozen of another. Same for transmissions and whatever. Everything is so overly worked right now for these vehicles, man. But it is what it is. As long as you have something reliable and you like to drive it, that's all it really matters. If you love to drive, you want a German car because that's the cars that you want to like, that you can really drive. You know what I mean? American cars, not so many. I see people spend $100,000 on a Corvette, $100,000 and more, and more. That's like a cheap Corvette. Why would you buy a Ferrari? Why wouldn't you get something like also it's going to maintain its value? You know what I mean? Anyway, that's just me. I don't have a Ferrari. I don't have a Corvette. But I have a rocket in my Jeep.
I was given an L82 Corvette. Last year they made this thing, and it was it was weird. It was fairly comfortable, even though it was kind of awkward to get in and out of it. It had a crossfire fuel injected engine, and one of the first ones they ever made. It was about 460 horsepower. It man, you could drop it in second, punch it, it would just sit up pretty and take off, but the vets were too light. I was taking it across the causeway, and the way it was designed, the wind was getting underneath the car and wanting to lift the car off the ground. Over about 140, you could feel it. It was coming off the ground. Any faster than that, you'd have been flying off the track.
Yeah.
You'd have been dead. We used to take it out and run them all the time. A couple places you can, if you got a fast car, even if you got something you want to try dragging, there's a couple of tracks you can go to and they'll let you go run on it. You got to pay a fee, but it's still cool to go out there and drag.
There was just one of the Poconos, man, I went to because I had a friend that was racing his car around that day, just duking around, you know. And I think it was like, I think it was $25 to pay to get on the track and kind of drive around. But they weren't racing. There wasn't anything like that. But there were people with Porsches and people with others, other stuff that went there and kind of drove around. It was cool. They do it over Watkins Glen too, a NASCAR track. I think that's probably a little bit more money, like maybe $50. And they took a picture of you driving your vehicle. I know that around the track. I mean, if that's really what people like, it's more fun to do it on the highway.
Yeah, well, they used to do it out by the lakefront down here until the cops decided, well, you know what? No more of that.
We used to drag race, man. Rockville Center, Long Island, Rockville Center to Baldwin. There's a Sunrise Highway, Route 27. There's a strip between two lights that are a quarter mile exactly, man. So of course Everybody gathered in the railroad parking lot there. Friday, Saturday nights, man, it was a big night. Everybody's there trying to race each other and shit. That light turns, boom. The cops in Rockville Center will be waiting for us. But by the time people are flying through, it was just kind of fun to do, man. Nobody has fun anymore. Do people have fun anymore?
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to
I
have fun.
wish.
You're not allowed.
What
You
is
know,
fun?
shit
I've never
boxes,
even
it
heard
didn't
that
matter.
word before. What is fun?
I had shit boxes, man. I mean, at that point I didn't have like any fast exotic car. I was a teenager, I was just driving whatever I had. What did I have?
But Leah's got a good question. What is fun?
I had a Corvette 500. I had a lot of Mopar, which had a lot of horsepower in that, and I was attracted to it. So yeah, Satellite Sebring Plus. I had one of those.
Who watches NASCAR? I don't.
I don't.
Do you, Joe?
I'm not a big fan.
Only
A couple of
when
my
it's
friends were,
crashing.
but I'm not really a big fan of it.
It's kind of interesting. Go fast, turn left. Go fast, turn left is not really a thing with me, and all the advertising, they were ridiculous. It's like I don't know. I don't know what you get out of it, right? It's not a true contest of skill. I think,
I can't see it. To me, I watch the first 10 laps and the last 10 laps. That's what I do.
Well, that's one way of doing it. I used to, when I was young, I kind of liked it, but I don't know. I'm not, a lot of that stuff doesn't, I just don't seem to have to my friends. It's like, you don't watch football anymore, you don't watch any sports anymore. I really
Right.
don't. I don't go hunting anymore, which I used to hunt when I was younger. I go fishing. Every now and then, I don't have my license right now, but, sometimes I go fishing because I go fishing in my backyard. So I go crabbing in my backyard too, but really intrigued. None of that stuff really intrigues. I frankly, I'd either rather do something around the house or talk in the car, go for a ride somewhere.
I'm the same way, Joe. I used to love the fish, and I don't like it no more. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing tonight, and I'm here on the show.
Yeah.
I change,
I don't
man.
care.
You know what? Likes and dislikes and things that are important to us. At my age right now, where I'm at, I really don't care about too much. Hate to say, it really things have shifted in my life just recently. On top of that, so but I'm saying, like, I don't play golf. I don't do anything. This is what I do. I like food, and I'm into photography. So when I travel for food. I'll drive to New Mexico for a cheeseburger. I've done it, man. You know what I mean? Only because that's what serves what I like to do, my happiness. I know that cheeseburger is going to be there. And I know what I'm going to be there eating it. And then I go out with my camera and take pictures of all the beauty around it, man. That's cool. But golf, I tried golf. It didn't work for me.
Does not work for me either.
It's just very time consuming and annoying. I mean, some people like it, whatever, that's fine. But
It's like I think the number one sport. Everybody goes golfing, and then when we have family reunions, that's all they do. They talk about golf, and I'm like, how in the hell
What's
can
a
you
family?
follow? I mean, seriously, why would you want to follow a little white ball along a golf course?
because you have a drink at every hole. That's what I learned about it, man. That's what I learned. The person will bring you the drink to that hole. First hole, first drink. Second hole, second drink. By the time you get to the whatever, how many fucking holes they got, you're done. You're done. That's what that cart is for, to drag your ass off that golf course, put you back in your car so you can sleep it off. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It wasn't my thing. I wasn't bad at it. I liked the driving range. That was kind of cool,
Yeah.
because you could just go, do it, and leave, and that's cool. That's awesome, And but as for playing a whole game, who has time for that? I mean, even it's like a 4 hours minimum to play, half of a course. You know what I mean? The back nine.
What I used to do is I would go every Tuesday night, and I would mark down the amount of resentments and anger issues I had toward people. And that Tuesday night, I'd go and buy 100 balls, a bucket of ball of 100. I don't care if it went 1 foot or 395 feet. I just let out my anger, let it go, man. One time I had 25 hangers issues, and the first 25 balls, I just didn't care where it went, what my form was like.
I
I
do
was
skee
playing Happy
ball and
Gilmore.
pinball. That's it. I'm trying to start a pinball league locally. Just a good group of people, but maybe have like a competition or something. Love pinball and skee ball, man. Gotta love skee ball.
Ski ball's good.
But
Yeah,
shooting,
Y'all
I
are
mean,
crap, is what I think.
like target shooting is expensive when you're rolling through ammo. Ammo is not cheap at this time. It hasn't been in a long time. So, but something like that, But it's nice to do it. It's nice to use what you got.
I think we're paying $10 a box at 50. And that's I like to get the middle load or the higher load. My gun's so new. Well, it's not even it's new anymore. It's over a year old now, but or 2 years. But I don't shoot it very often, so yes, it's really stiff. It doesn't like the low powder. It wants to jam. Kick it. It'll shoot it. And it only has enough powder to kick it back halfway. So I put the middle grain or high grain, and it kicks it back no problem. Guys told me to shoot about 1,000 rounds, and I'll probably quit that. Okay, you send me 1,000. I mean, I got 1,000 rounds, but I don't want to go waste them on. Those are for
You might have a spring thing going on. Maybe we want to replace the spring.
Well, I can change it. It comes with trigger sets. It came with a 2, 3, and 5 pound trigger set. The gun is actually designed to be a target gun. It's designed for mechanic.
9mm.
It's Turkish made 9mm.
But it's double action, yeah.
It strictly was made for target shooting.
You know what's cool though? You can put a lot of different barrels in there. You get the nice stainless steel high competition barrel type of thing. They're real nice and reliable. But I don't know. There's so many cool things you could do.
That's what this gun was. This gun was designed to compete with a $3,000 Glock. Beat it for around $700. And they win all the time. They've won many championships now. Right out of the box. Glock, you can't beat it with a Glock out the box. You got to modify your Glock if you want to shoot in competition. These even come with the laser if you want to with the laser.
I've seen Glocks jam on people enough to know that they're unreliable.
Well, no, a lot of new guns. First off, you should never go with the lowest round for your gun because you're asking for it to jam. A lot of times the powder is not efficient enough to kick it back and keep it out. That's why a lot of people like revolvers because they can't jam. They're going to shoot no matter what.
Revolvers can only fail on you if it gets dirty, and then there could be issues. You keep it clean, everything's beautiful, man.
Well,
When it comes to others with magazines, a lot of people use plastic magazines, man, and I laugh every time I hear it because they're horrible. They're horrible.
I use all steel magazines, but what I have learned though is like one of my 380s I hadn't shot it in like 10 years. So I went out and shot all the rounds out. When I reloaded to shoot it again, it didn't shoot all the rounds out because the spring had become soft and wouldn't push or kick the rounds out.
Yeah, the plastic doesn't seat right a lot of times, especially when it gets warm.
Well, I'm never going to put plastic anything in my gun. They can forget that.
Well, I haven't had cartridge in a long time. It's just because of 50 cents a bullet. You start thinking of that's a hell of a lot of money. You can go through them pretty quickly. So it's like, and you're done, man.
Joe, when you're messing with your 6-round revolver, my 31 round comes out or my 50 round comes out, you're just going to be toast while you're trying to reload that little 6 round you just shot. I'm going to be like, by the time you've reloaded it, even if you got a speed loader, I'll have shot 2 clips.
Speed loader, boom. And also revolvers are more accurate. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's a more wise tale. If revolvers were more accurate, you would see them in target. You would see them in competition.
What's a reliable pistol to have for self-preservation, for protection? I'm going to say.
What's a 1911?
It's a 45 millimeter.
1911 is a type of gun. It's chambered in many different rounds. You can get it 45. You can get it 10 millimeter, even 9 millimeter. You know what I mean? But I like it because it feels nice in my hand. But then every company's also copied the style. So from Colt, Colt was there in 1911, but then like Smith and Wesson and other brands. And Smith and Wesson is also very good. Colt is very. I don't like a Colt gun. It's me personally.
When you see like an Army guy or a Navy guy or SP or somebody carrying a gun, that's what they're carrying. Sure.
Oh, like Italian Beretta. You can't go wrong with a Beretta, man. I like a Walter PPK. Walter PP like James Bond little pistol, man. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you want just for carrying and self preservation, you want something small, low profile, and something that works. That's it. That's really it. You want something that works, man, because you don't want something that not works if you need it. What the hell is the point of having it? Then just carry like a ball peen hammer around at that point.
I also like that the 45s have the dual safeties on. They got the hammer. Like my
45s are okay, man. A lot of people like 357. You know what I mean? Even though it's not as packs as much punch, but they are pretty good, man. 44 Magnum. I had a Magnum Bulldog one time, 44, and a snub nose. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pearl handle grips.
A friend of mine owns a 357 snub nose and a 44.
What's the death toll in the Russia-Ukraine war?
2 people.
I think you know what, Leah? I think they just quit talking about that war. I don't hear nothing.
It's not like it just stopped all of a sudden. They stopped talking about it because of the fact that the Palestine-Israeli war is just so much more popular, and it's what's feeding all of the mainstream news medias now. But in reality, they're using that as a means to divert the attention away from the Ukrainian-Russian war, because the body count, the death count on both sides is so extraordinary. I'm pretty sure it's like over 500,000 already. Like
Russians lost more than 500,000 troops. Yeah, Russia's already lost
over 800,000 Russians so far.
Meanwhile, I guess in Gaza or Palestine, they're saying that I don't know what the official death toll is, but it's somewhere between like 40 and 50,000 Palestinian civilians.
But all the people in charge are playing the game right now because Trump is going in, Biden's leaving. Biden just gave Ukraine like $275 million worth of stuff. So, because Russia attacked Ukraine on Christmas, so it was that type of thing. And then, on the 20th, Trump takes over, so that's going to change again. Israel knows that Trump is Israel-oriented. They have no problem there. Israel now has Syria. I mean, they don't have it, but they blew up all the military assets that are there, and they kind of just made it They took the Golan Heights for themselves, which is where they get their water supply from. We actually pay over $20 million a year just so Israel can get the water from the Golan Heights and to keep it protected. It's just kind of crazy.
Why is it that Israel gets to have free health care and free education, like free college, but we don't?
Because we pay for it.
No, I get it. But we're also paying for theirs.
That's what I just said. We pay for it. That's why
we pay for theirs.
We pay for a lot.
No, we don't pay for theirs. We pay for their military. So instead of spending that $300 million on the military, they could spend it on other things.
But
it would be like if somebody would pay our military, that would give America a free $1 trillion.
Israel's supposed to be our iron fist in the Middle East to control all the wacko nations around them.
Yeah,
and that's really what that's all about, But also there's that Jewish connection, man. I mean, there's only 4 million Jews in the U.S., and you would think it's a heck of a lot more.
Is it true that the banking system is set up? I just heard this through a different podcast where they got a lot of slack because they were talking about how in the banking system in the United States, and I think the UK as well, if you are considered a Semite, there's no interest on any of the loans you take out. That the only people that are considered for interest on loans are non-Semites, and that goes back hundreds of years.
Everybody I know pays interest.
I know that Muslims don't have loans, man. They don't believe in them,
Well, I mean, it's, I guess, thousands of years ago, the Jewish community were the ones that were in charge of the financial, lending and finances. That was the way that the society was designed. That's where their role was, or something. And so they did a lot of business with the leaders, like kings and whatever leaders were with the countries. But in the modern day, it translated back from those initial rules that were set to where, because they were the ones in control of all of the banking, the lending aspect of it. Something about how if you are considered Jewish or a Semite, you don't have to pay an interest on
I
your
can't
on your
believe that.
loans.
I can't
Country,
believe
you'll have to
that.
pay it.
So I don't.
mean,
I mean, I wouldn't have the luxury of going in and finding out, because
Well,
I don't.
it wouldn't matter because there's too many anti-Jew people in this country, so they're going to make it.
I'm half Jewish. I've never heard of that in my life. So.
See, I'm curious. I see. That's why I'm wondering, because it's just something that is apparently like going around in other podcasts.
Yeah, there's a lot of
There's
numbskullery out there, so you got to be careful with people and what they say. Always think about why they're saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with how it's, all of the different wars that are taking place. It all honestly is getting funded somehow, though.
We're kind of
any
old
wars
Jewish,
going on?
you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I've got a question for all you. Is there any real wars going on?
no, there isn't.
I mean,
No, there
they are,
isn't.
They're grudge matches. They're police.
the thing in the
police
Middle
act.
East is not a war, that's for sure, because the Palestinians ain't fighting back.
The Russian thing, I'll tell you, man. Coming from the point of strategy, the whole thing is cockeyed from the beginning. I don't
It's like
even
Vietnam.
get it. I don't even get why Putin just didn't level Kiev and just freaking level it. I would have leveled it to the ground and made sure nothing was left moving. And I would have done that within 24 hours, man. You know why they played the game, left the troops out to be like susceptible and whatever. I don't know, man. The whole thing is bizarre. The whole thing, you got to think it.
I like what Joe came up with, and if you really look at it, it's another Vietnam War over there.
I heard it's like a meat grinder, that there's just
That was
bodies
Vietnam.
everywhere. There's so many dead. There's just so much death.
Just like Vietnam, Leah.
Now you got North Koreans there getting slaughtered, and they
Yeah.
don't even know how to fight a war. They're not really soldiers. They never fought anyone before. They don't really know what the hell they're doing. They're just getting slaughtered by drones. They're sitting there in their truck, and here comes drone, Ukrainian drone. Boom! That's it. That's it.
See, back in Vietnam, they didn't have drones, Leah.
Nope.
No, it's napalm.
No, you know what they had? They had cocaine and speed. My friend Joey, he used to be. He worked for my father as a mechanic. He came out of Vietnam to work for him, So he said that they used to take Coca-Cola and take cocaine, put speed into Coca-Cola, drink it, and run missions through the jungle, just shooting everything they can. They take their gun, they take their ammo, just run and kill. He was in this bit called the Ace of Spades.
It's terrifying.
when they were going to an area or a village and kill everybody, they leave those cards, playing cards around. So they knew who was responsible for that carnage, So, but you know what? Like, how do you come back from that? How do you come back to your family from that? How do you come back?
You can't.
Unless you're if you're like a superb psychopath, you can compartmentalize. You know what I mean? But if you're just a normal person, and here's the government saying, "Go kill," now you don't have to kill anymore, or now you can't kill anymore. You know what I mean? You go back to your life or whatever. But in your mind what you've done and what happened. So I don't know, man.
But look what happened. Look what happened to them when they came back, Mike. People spit on them.
Spat on, mistreated. Yeah.
Killers, the whole 9 yards. And
there was this guy named John Rambo, right? And then he was up there in Washington, man, just trying to walk through a town, and look what they did to him. Sylvester Stallone telling the story of John Rambo. But yeah, you know what? It's ugly, isn't it? Now it's over
terrifying.
The top. Now it's over the top with thank you for your service. I get it, but I'm a taxpayer, so I'm paying for the show. Thank you for your service. You may be the actor, but I just paid for it, man. Like, how about
you're going to be surprised at how many veterans do not like hearing that.
I think it's this. You know why? It's disingenuous. It really is. It's something that just people say. It's tagline now. It's not like they really appreciate it. It's just something politically correct to say. So, like tipping. I don't believe in tipping. I tip for good services, but really, you're being forced into a financial action. I don't get tipped in my job. Most people don't get tipped in their jobs. You know what I mean?
Well, when you live in a state like this one, or like let's just use Iowa for example, their minimum wage is still at $7.25 an hour. But if you get a serving job at a restaurant, they're going to pay you $4 to $5 an hour underneath minimum wage because of the fact that they expect the minimum wage to be met with tips. So like they're not paying minimum wage to their employees. The tips are.
Should be illegal because the restaurant's relying on the consumer to pay to tip, but the tip is a gratuity, so you're supposed to get your pay plus the gratuity.
But you're looking at that wrong. You're looking at that wrong because if I knew the waitress was making $16 an hour, I'm not going to tip her.
Why not? I mean, it's
because I'm not. She's already getting a fair wage for what she's doing. Why would I tip
for good service? You know what I mean? It's a gratuity.
And the higher and if the food, if I'm going to pay $250 for dinner, and I know my waitress is making $20, $25. No, I'm not tipping her. It's not. They have it. It's going to be like that.
So I also
going to be like, screw you. We're not
just to hand you a coffee. They want a tip.
Yeah, Little Caesars Pizza. You go in and get a hot and ready pizza already made, just sitting there, staying warm in the warmer, and they're asking if you want a tip when you pay.
Of course they do. They're going to try to get money any way they can.
That's insane.
Don't ever tip anything in a general pile at any restaurants because the restaurant takes a cut.
Yeah, they take it.
I as a person who's served and has been a bartender, I've
bartended myself. Trust me, I know it's so down here. It's a little bit different. I agree
with the fact that people have the right to tip or not. It's not like it should just be expected because it's. But at the same time, I don't know. It's like if you're going to go out and you're enjoying the ambiance of whatever establishment that you're patronizing, it just leaving a tip is a sign that you enjoyed yourself. If you don't leave a tip, it kind of feels like, well,
wait a minute. You go to a damn restaurant now, they put the gratuity on the check.
Right.
A lot of people do. But so why am I tipping the waitress if I had a good dinner? She didn't cook it.
No, but she's helping deliver the.
So the majority ambiance. But wait a minute, the majority of what I'm going to enjoy out of this evening is going to be that dinner. That's 75%. So shouldn't I tip her $5 and him $15?
No, so like also.
So you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite.
The tips don't just go to the server. In a lot of cases, the tips are pooled and they split them not only between the back of house, but they split them between the hosts, the bussers. And so it's not just the server. I don't know
what restaurant you worked at.
No, that's everywhere I worked. That's when I was growing up. That's how it was. I mean, so the waitress would get her tips, and then she would pay back to whoever her busboy was. She would give him usually 5 or 10% of what she made.
You tip people at McDonald's?
Just saying, hey, I enjoyed my experience, and you guys are a good team. Like, here's one for the team. It's not like
maybe the experience was terrible.
If the experience was terrible, then I can understand not tipping. But that's usually not the case if you're going out to enjoy yourself.
18% is one place I go to. Automatically, you're going to pay.
If I go to tip place one time and they say the tips is automatic, I don't go back.
Sometimes the service is impeccable. They come back, they check on you at the proper time. They refill your glasses and that type of thing.
You know what, Mike? They're pushing you out the freaking door. They don't even give you time to eat your dinner.
Also,
they bring a salad out, and then they come back 10 minutes later with your food.
I've been pushed out the door before, and I resent that shit. And I'll tell you, I don't go back to those places because you're spending a few $100s between friends. You're there like $100 a plate, man. In a lot of these places, you're spending hundreds of dollars, and then after an hour they want you to go.
There's really nowhere like that around here. There's no $100 meals really in this area. There's breakfast diners. There's like some breakfast and lunch places.
I'm in New York.
And this is the shittiest Midwest area ever. So I mean, it's the Midwest. It's covered in snow. There's just nothing but, I don't know. Let's just not get into specifics. But the overall experience for dining out here is, for me, if they don't refill my coffee cup, like if I only get that one initial cup of coffee and they don't come back to refill it, and they've already brought me my check without refilling or topping off my coffee, that's bad service. That's not attentive. It's just, they're there for their tips. They're there because they're getting paid $4 an hour, and they're trying to push you out the door for the next table to get set.
I want a massage before I give a tip. But the GM
A foot massage.
I did not say anything about happy, and then I said I wanted a massage. You perverts. Let's see how y'all are. Bunch of perverts. I don't know. I mean, it's a tip thing. Is if I worked in the industry, and my stepdaughter's worked in the industry. So but I also know as a bartender, sometimes I would bring in $1,000 a night. We're talking 40 years ago. That's like making 5 G's a night these days. And sometimes I have good weeks. My biggest problem was bartending, even waiting, is I got more phone numbers than I got money or drugs. People used to leave me a lot of drugs, cocaine, different kind of pills, different kind of marijuana, stuff like that. Oh, hey, I want a phone number or something like that. Well, Joe, would you like to have a good time? I got an 8-ball. You want a couple of bumps? And I look up at him. I said, I'm still in the service. I said, I'm out on reserve time now, but I'm still in the service, people. And you get caught with cocaine in your system in the Navy.
You're done. You're done.
Yo, man, you're done in a big way. After they took you,
1980s, man, was all about cocaine. I mean, you couldn't get away from it. Every club, every bit, everybody, everybody had their little thing, whatever.
Everywhere you went, let's do some cocaine. Let's do a couple of bumps.
It was part of the music business.
For women, coke is a great thing. For men, not as much.
No, it's not great for women either.
It has negative side effects for men.
I'm freaking hyper enough as it is, man. I don't need a boost. I don't need a boost. You know what I mean? It's like
looks like Craig.
Just fiddling to something to calm me down.
You asked me if I've ever done cocaine. No, I've never done cocaine.
What's espresso I drink?
Ever.
Cocaine, man.
I did cocaine through Michael. Yes, that's how I did it through Michael. Yes.
So it's been almost a year. It's been about a year since I stopped smoking marijuana, and
that's why you're going crazy.
Well, I can't even handle the smell of it anymore. Like sometimes I'll catch a whiff of it from somebody that's like driving by and smoking in their vehicle, and
you mean cops?
I just can't. It makes me feel sick. It's like cigarettes. I pretended to smoke cigarettes. I grew up around smokers. Cigarette smoke was a big part of my childhood, but I can't. It makes me sick to be around. I feel like I get an allergic reaction to it.
I quit smoking cigarettes over 20 years ago now. Like you said, if I'm walking into a store, people are outside smoking a cigarette. It's like if I smell that, it's like, oh my god, it's horrible.
Yeah,
and it's just
ex-smokers have a heightened sense of smell by them.
Yes, we do. And you know what?
Like dogs.
Man, I tell you what, I walk into a store and I smell skunk, and I'm thinking, my god, I get sick. I got to run it. It's skunk weed. And
God,
I wish I was smelling some of that.
So no.
Past the Dutchie on the left-hand side.
That shit's nasty.
There's definitely levels to it. There's like the good stuff, and then there's like stuff that's just mass-produced, and I don't know. Like I just can't. There's something about it. I think that's like specific to this location that makes it just smells gross, even if it's supposed to be like the good stuff that you get from the dispensary and you spend a lot of money on. It doesn't smell good. And I mean, I'm from California, and I was spent a lot of time. I lived in Humboldt County. I spent a lot of time in Trinity County and Mendocino County. So I'm very familiar with that lifestyle from back in the day before it was even popularized or legalized. And it was just a very big part of my life for a long time. And now it's not. And I can definitely tell the difference. I can smell it. It's like they're using the wrong water or something like that. I don't know. There's something not right about it.
My mom, when I was 16, I know what you're smoking in there. I remember those days.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mom. I ain't smoking nut.
It's air freshener.
I told her one day, I said, would you rather me drink or would you rather me smoke?
There's absolutely no denying what it is. It's just got such a pungent aroma.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hide.
Yeah.
Even like they have like little filters you can blow into, like say if you're in a hotel room, get busted. You're still gonna smell it. It's still gonna be in the air. You don't need much of that smoke to really penetrate walls.
Even
very
like
heavy.
high-powered like air fresheners, like these like special like $10 a can air fresheners don't really cover it up.
Nah, they don't.
If you want to cover up the smell of marijuana, just use Lysol. It eats the.
You gotta use incense. Ding, 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 ding. You have like your incense going, but whatever. Nobody in New York hides anymore because it's legalized and there's a store 20 minutes from me that's got probably 12, 24, 50, 60 different varieties, for God's sakes. I mean, plus wax and whatever. They got stuff I've never dabs and whatever. Stuff I've never even heard of. And then, but it's a spectacle because it's legal now. So when you walk into a place like that, it's a spectacle because you realize just a couple of years ago, you get arrested for the same type of thing. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting.
To me, it's
like the
become
government
like
says
a status symbol.
Go.
It's just a way to waste money. If you smoke, it means you got money to burn. I think it's a status symbol.
People like it. It's therapeutic. Probably saves a lot of lives. It's like to say. You know what I mean? As Joe, he drives that RAV4, man. He's got his gun in the air, shooting at people in traffic, smoking weed. He's like, yahoo! He does just
so
like
don't
that.
get me wrong. I would.
That's why I love him.
If I had a greenhouse, that would be my first crop.
He's my brother from another mother. See?
If I had a nice greenhouse, that'd be my first. That'd be my cash crop.
But people aren't making money from weed anymore. It's kind of interesting that the whole market, even in California, I was watching a special about it. That just since they legalized it, it's not a special thing, and now it's being mass grown by corporations, keeping that right. They got money.
Pharmaceutical corporations.
Yeah, right. So they're mass growing. They're putting it out there. So how do you fight that? Just like the farmers being drummed out, right? The farmers being drummed out, but the mass corporations get federal funding, and here they are, with
and you have to have like at least like $1 million or more or something. I remember hearing a video of this guy talking about how they had to have a bottom line of $5 million to start out with, like a grow production to supply their own dispensary.
So that's a nice pistol, man. I like the way it fits in my hand, the 1911. Like, 'cause I have a big hand, so I like that. And but it is? It's very top heavy, front heavy. You know what I mean? If you're firing, and then on top of that, it's big, it's bulky. If you want to carry that around, it's a beast. That thing's a beast to carry around. It's a beast. You really want to weigh yourself down. Oh, they got Joe.
You got to take a little smoke break.
They got him, man. The feds, they got him.
Yeah, they got him finally.
They're like,
now
what do we
do now? What do we do now, Michael? What do we do now, Leah? The man is gone.
Well,
talk about New Year's Eve resolutions.
I feel like he'll be back.
He'll be back.
New Year's resolution. There he is. There he is.
Man, don't get me started on New Year's.
Mike is down.
I thought last year's New Year's was the worst New Year's ever.
There we go.
There you are.
It's no, I was hitting back on the gun thing. I was going to show you something. So that one we was looking at was 1,600. Actually, that's 1,700. But they had the 911s for $445. Last year you couldn't find them anywhere for less than that.
That's expensive too. That's up there. You know what I mean? Because mostly you can get a nice 1911 in probably $600-700 range.
Yeah, well, no, they were showing them brand new in there for $449 on that site where I was at.
Yeah.
And I almost bought one year before last. One of my customers had one. It was a nice one. It was a collector's. He was gonna let me have it for $9. I almost bought it, but I got that other one, and I really don't need anything else. I remember Target pistols are supposed to be a little bit heavy in the front. That way, when you squeeze the trigger, the gun raises to where the target is. So you don't have to adjust. You just have to learn what it is.
It's more like if you want to group your shots, if you want to fire in quick succession, you don't want something that's like like a Luger is a great gun. People kind of don't talk about them much anymore. But think of the barrel of a Luger and all the weights in your hand, fully in control. It's not going to kick back at you or anything. You're going to be able to put that where you want. But like the big ones, the big guns are fun. They're fun. But like every revolver doesn't have a big front end. Only maybe 357 Magnum with the Pythons or something. They're pretty big. But Clint Eastwood type, right? The big long, they're more accurate, but the big long suckers. So, but who needs it? If you're protecting yourself, you don't need anything. You need something that's going to work. That's going to work. You know what? When people in bear country, they carry the big 10 millimeters. That's the favorite round. That sometimes
they need you in bear country.
It could be 1911, it could be a Glock or whatever, But it doesn't really matter. I mean, I don't know. Depends on what you need. Maybe you don't need a gun. Some people don't like them at all. For home defense, all you need is a 12 gauge shotgun. What more do you need? A couple $100 for a shotgun, $250, $300 for a brand new one. I mean, no more do you need. It's freaking artillery, for God's sakes. But I like, me personally, I like just being big and scary. So people stay away from me, and I don't really have to worry about it. You know what I mean? They're like, stay away from that big scary guy. That's it.
So
they don't even have to know anything.
When I bought this cannon, I thought it was a 45. That's what it is. It's a heart. I didn't realize it's 9 millimeters. I got it home. I was like, what did I just buy here?
What is that, Joe?
This is a specially made target. This has this one right now. I have a 2-pound trigger on it, meaning just rubbing my finger across it like this will fire this gun. So at a target, right now the gun has virtually no weight. Even as big as it is, it virtually has no weight to it. So when I just
hair trigger,
so I don't even have to pull the trigger. All I have to do is rub it.
It's a hair trigger, man.
Yeah, so there's no lifting of any kind. When you rub that trigger, it fires, and the faster you rub it, the faster it fires. And the gun barely will do this. This part's heavy, so that as long as you've got the gun just like that, it automatically adjusts to the target every time. You rarely miss a target.
Yeah, most trigger pulls are around like 4 to 5 pounds.
4 or 5 pounds. Well, that's what the original trigger on this gun was 5 pounds. It came with a 2, 3, and 5 pound trigger.
Yeah.
Stock. That's how it came. But see, this is what I don't like about it. Like what I don't like about a lot of automatics.
What?
I missed the hammer. You got that little red button. Oh. Do you know if you drop this gun and something hits that button, it will fire this fucking gun.
Yeah, right.
So you're kind of like, well, it needs to be cleaned. Let's play Dirty Harry, people.
Make my day.
I'm ready for you. Before anybody writes or cosplays, it's a fake gun. It's not real.
The water gun.
Yeah, and the thing I put in it just holds water. Nothing more than that.
Got full of vodka right now. I think. Vodka.
No, more than one. The other one's down on the car. It's not even that big, man. You get up close to it, it's a monster. It's a monster. Currently, that's a 31 round clip. No, that's a 21 round clip, and a 31 round's not in it. You can tell because it sticks out about this far at the bottom.
Okay, and I have a show tomorrow night at 8:10 p.m., buddy.
It's going to talk about how men can get pregnant.
It's about weird Pennsylvania, and I'm thinking, well, why not weird Mississippi?
You got a storm coming, right?
Mississippi is plenty weird, too. Let me tell you what, a lot of weird shit going on down here.
I see all the storm people in Pennsylvania, man, all stacked up, waiting for a blizzard.
So my God. Today at work, it was crazy, man. Nonstop. I tell you what, I could put the most ugliest looking piece of meat, 5 days old, put it on the shelf, and they would have bought it. It was insane. Insane.
Because people have flipped out when they a big storm comes. I told
And
him,
we're going. You know what? When they say this big storm's coming, I guarantee we might get 2 inches.
it's supposed to miss us completely, and then I'm not even all that far from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bit northern. About 4 hours from Pittsburgh. I'll get there in 4 hours. I like, you know what? I go to Erie here and there. I like staying at the Sheraton there. It's on the water. It's really nice. A nice restaurant, and you know, it's cool.
But I tell you what, Erie gets ponded.
I love Erie though. You know what? It's just a cool town. It's a cool town to hang out in. Cool town to walk around in. Lake is beautiful. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I like it. I like Lake Erie.
They get that lake effect though. Yeah, man. They get 3 to 5 feet, 4 to 5, 6 feet, whatever. You gotta be ready for it. If you live there, you know that about
I don't
the place.
think Joe ever saw that amount of snow in his life.
Nah, if you live there,
I've
you know that
been in
about
some
the place.
pretty. I've been in some pretty.
You
Deep
can't be surprised if you live in Erie or like Watertown or Buffalo. You know,
Buffalo, oh my God. Wow.
yeah, you can't be surprised when they get a lot of snow.
No.
So
I think the deepest snow I've ever been in was 5 or 6 feet.
I don't know. We don't get a lot of snow around here. I mean, there's some out on the ground because it's been cold. So, but it was just in the 50s last weekend.
Yeah, we are in the 18s right now.
Yeah, it's going to be cold for a while apparently, but
Yeah.
it's winter. It's winter.
It's
You know what?
not-
March is
18's
coming.
nice. It's warm and muggy and stuff.
March is coming. I hibernate in the winter. There's nothing to do. I'm not a skier. I don't do any of that. You know, I don't want to hang out with anybody. I don't want to get sick. There's this terrible flu virus going around.
Yeah.
Knocking
U.S.
people
Army
out.
vet lives in Ohio, and he says it's the weirdest state. He's expecting several inches of snow soon.
The Ohio's
Well,
weird.
whatever he gets, we'll get the day later. Like my son lives out in Indianapolis, and whatever he's getting out there, we'll get it 2 days later.
Yeah. It's winter. You know, but all the weather guys from the Weather Channel are there are stacked up along from Illinois to New York, you know, so they're all back and forth.
Well, let me ask you guys this question, right? Since Lee isn't. Hey, Heidi, good to see you, hon. Wow, great. I'm happy now. Heidi's in the room. But yeah, big clap for her. Yeah, I mean she's my buddy. But I don't know. You see people, especially women, dressed up at work. I mean, they go shopping in the winter, and you're like, well, what do they look like in the summertime? You know.
You know what, for Heidi, we're gonna have a new thing on the show. That's when someone new comes, man. We got the my
Heidi is my girl,
Pennsylvania
man.
Railroad token.
Heidi's my girl, man. She's the best, man.
Welcome, Heidi. Take the train.
Yeah,
Found this
she's
in my
the
junk
best.
before.
Heidi's the best, man. I'm telling you.
I was at the Scranton. They have a train museum in Scranton, and it's free. It's federal. It's free, man. You walk right through the door. So cool. They got so many trains there.
She has one of those too.
That's all right. That's good.
Train whistle. Oh my God, Michael. Joe, what's going on in today's world, buddy?
It's topsy-turvy, man. People trying to decide what the hell's happened before Trump gets sworn in. I don't know, man. There's a lot of stupidity out there, too. There's a lot of just people losing it.
You know, love
You
me
know?
some Trump. What you talking about?
But I don't
They
know,
trying to
whatever.
Trump.
He'll be in there for a while. I hope he can really fix what's broken and not mess with what isn't broken. This is a unique opportunity for
But
Trump to
that's a
unite.
good question. What isn't broken?
I think that he needs to unite the country. I think that we need to protect ourselves and you know, especially our borders, of course. But I think that we need to really keep our industry home as much as possible. He's on the right track. He's saying all the right stuff. So, I mean, I don't have an issue with anything he's saying. I still don't like him, but I don't have an issue with what he's saying or doing. You know, I mean, he's already doing a hell of a lot before he's even getting back in there. And then he's not even in there yet, you know. And then Biden's just, you know, just being a buffoon, giving out medals to people who are war criminals. They're criminals. You know, Soros is a criminal. You know what I mean? And that, you can't convince me he's not. Look at what he does and what he encourages. He encouraged all those people to come up to the U.S. Without any kind of invite, without any kind of saying, okay, we can help you come in legally, whatever. Nothing. And then a lot of the women got raped, killed along the way, babies killed, or whatever. He encouraged and paid for that. Gangs setting up in America, people getting raped and killed here in America. He's a hero. He's really. So Martha Stewart, maybe give her the
Hey,
award.
you got to leave Martha Stewart. That's my woman, man.
Give her
made
the
me come
award,
up
the
there.
freedom,
That's my
the
woman.
Freedom Award. She's done more for people than George Soros would ever do. Hillary too. Hillary getting the Freedom Medal. What did she ever do? What did she ever do for America?
Other than killing people? Other than killing people, I don't know. But she was
she
really good at
herself. She did well for herself. But what did she do for people? People, man. But you know what? Like those awards, they mean nothing. It's just the rich people patting each other on the back. That's all it is. And then whoever's friends with him, and the dude doesn't even know where.
Why didn't Mark Cuban get an award?
He doesn't even know where he is or what he's doing. He doesn't even know where he is or what he's doing. Period. These are the people behind the scenes giving out these awards. He doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue who's getting what. You know what I mean? But if you watch it, he'll probably collapse and like we don't even know what the hell's going on. Like he's kissing Jimmy Carter's butt. The hell did he ever do? He built houses for people. Good. That's the only thing.
There's going to be an investigation into his.
And I don't even know who he built houses for. I haven't seen them. Have you seen them?
What, Jimmy Carter? I've seen Jimmy Carter's book.
So you want to do good in the world? I love you, man. It's great. But, Jimmy Carter was a very wealthy man who lived a privileged life for 100 years on the planet.
That goes back again, and I'm going to keep asking this question until inauguration. Should we have a full half-mast or full-mast for Trump? Should it be a half-mast? I mean, so this guy died.
Half-mast for like a week, right?
No, 30 days for president.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what the problem is. So for Trump, he died on the 29th, so the 29th of January would be 30 days. And so they don't want to take it. They don't want to take it down till then. They want there to be a flag at half-mast for Inauguration Day. And I don't see bringing the president in, especially after the guy's been in the ground for 10 days and dead for 20. Why he should have to have a half-mast flag? I think it should be a full flag.
Yeah.
That's taking his presidency coming in the door.
Hey, Heidi, I believe that when Trump gets in, they're going to take care of that apartment complex there. I really believe that. He's not going to. I'm telling you, they're just going to go in and get rid of that foreign gang.
Yeah, they've been kind of getting rid of some of them lately too. So Joe Biden at one time was 900,000 people a month. He's down to 100,000 now, which is 30,000 higher than Trump's lowest, which was 70,000. So even with Trump doing his best job, still 70,000 people a month were getting into it. That's crazy. I guess what we need to do is put up electric fences. Start electrocuting people, they'll stop coming.
No.
Oh, she has a good question.
You use
Heidi has a good question. When Trump gets in,
microwaves with solar power.
Would Denver? Will there be any more sanctuary cities if Trump gets in?
Nope. No such thing as a sanctuary city. No such thing as nope. State law does not supersede federal law. Period. Federal law always comes first. If we say kick them out, you got to help them. If you don't help them, you're impeding law enforcement and you can go to jail. And the czar already told the governor of Colorado, I will put you in jail if I catch you trying to hide.
So what he would do, because every state in the country takes federal money for law enforcement. Every state.
It doesn't even matter that they do that.
I'm not going to give you that money. And then okay. And then these guys are going to realize that's their own paycheck, and they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, then we'll do our job finally," Because all those laws are on the books; they've never changed. They didn't alter the laws in New York about people coming here illegally committing crimes. It's actually the DAs, it's the judges, it's the law, not even the law enforcement as much as the DAs and judges that are looking the other way. And for whatever reason, your guess is as good as mine. They're letting criminals go into the street to commit more victims. I don't understand it. Not from any which way. And I try to see all sides of an issue. That I don't just understand at all. Please explain it to me. Like, why do it? Why do it? And why not punish people? Why, if you do the same crime, you're going to be punished. You're
So,
going to be put away.
first question. Let's just say we rounded up 300,000 of these illegals that we know that are criminals that committed, broke laws. Where are we going to put them? We can't put them in the jails. We ain't got no room for them.
This is what you do. I have a plan, right? We lease out land in the countries that they come from, build a jail, pay people wages in that country, have nothing to do with it because we're just outsourcing prison space, and we put them there. You know what I mean? Or we utilize prison ships that have been sitting around rotting, or even old cruise ships. Put them out in the middle of the ocean, man, until you decide what you're going to do with them. But if they committed crime, you can't just let them go because then they're getting away with it, right? And they'll come right back in anyway. So you got to be able to punish those people. We took on a huge amount of debt because of this, and our people have suffered. Children
We should
have
have a
suffered.
no tolerance policy. If you come here illegally and you for any kind of crime, you should be executed on the spot.
Women have suffered. Look at the women that have been raped, beaten up, killed by these terrible these monsters, man. They didn't even vet them. They just let them go. They let them in. They let them go, and they had no problem doing it. So that was the Democrats who endangered people. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget what they did especially the last 4 years. Never forget. And they act so innocent, like it's not our fault. You know what I mean? Look what they've done to small businesses across the United States by allowing these criminals to run in and steal everything they can. Look what they've done. Even larger business, Walgreens going out, 2,300 stores are closed. So I mean,
I seen the judge told him he couldn't sell no more of the wall. He stopped the sale of the wall. I told Joe Biden, no, you can't do that. That's for the next president to decide where that wall's going to go. Because Joe Biden was just selling it off. I don't even know who he was just selling it off.
I highly agree, Heidi.
Well, we're going to send them back, so that's how that's going to work. We're just going to drop them back off whatever country they came
the
from.
new border czar is hardcore. The guy's like, I don't care if people like me. That's the kind of person.
Well, see, and I'll tell you that's another funny thing right there. So your mayor and California's mayor and Colorado's mayor was funny talking all that sanctuary city shit. When he told the Colorado governor he'd put him in jail, Newsom's like, no. He said, Newsom, I know where you live. I would send my boys that morning. You would be in a Homeland Security jail that afternoon. If your assistant didn't go ahead and get what we wanted done, they would be in jail next to you the very next day. He said, we're not playing with this. The president gave him lawful order. He said, as a governor of the United States, you are duty bound to follow the order from the lawful governor because he is the federal governor. The federal person, and you have to follow the federal president.
There are
says.
Millions that they have to get rid of, man. Millions.
That's not that hard of a thing, though. But it's not as big as people think it is. It's because they're in clusters. It's going to be the ones who broke out and went and hid with families or got out by themselves.
A lot of them armed. We gave them cash, a couple grand a month.
We gave driver's license in cash, which is going to make it even harder.
A lot of them are armed now. So I mean, there's that. So there's a whole bunch of issues that's happening. They opened up Pandora's box, and it's something that
I figure Trump will get rid of. He'll get rid of 1 million the first year. There'll be 1 million gone the first year, and then after that, the other 10 million. There'll probably be 3 or 4 million going. And I think after he gets rid of about 5 million, he's going to start saying, "Okay, look, you've been here 5 years. You got a job, you got a kid. We're going to let you stay. You got to go get legal. If you don't, we're going to throw you out." Now, I don't know if it's still, didn't in the old days it used to take 7 years to become a citizen. I don't know if that's still true today.
7 years for what?
To become a citizen.
Oh, it really depends.
Well, no, in the old days that's what it was. You had to be 7 years. You had to be able to speak the language, and you had to know other things. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, but these days it really depends. It depends on the person, where they're coming from, what especially if there's some kind of professional that they want to put into the system to give them a better time, better deal. I don't know.
Well, as a citizen,
about 1.2 million people a year. 1.2 million. That's a lot of people.
It is.
So I mean, America's a melting pot. You can't say we're not. That's what it is, and that's where it should be, and that's what makes us strong. But people coming over illegally with no skills, no intentions other than to drain the system. A lot of them committing crimes with no problem committing crimes. There's no allegiance to this country. They're just here. They're just here. Parasites basically sucking the blood out of our system. They're hurting communities. You know who they're hurting the most are poor people, because they're taking benefits out of the mouths of other people. These governments are running out of money, to support this whole thing. It costs billions just putting in the city. They're putting them in 3-star hotels. They're trashing these hotels. You know what I mean? Like,
good too.
it was crazy, man. So at least appreciate it. I spoke to a guy not long ago from Somalia, right? And he had just got naturalized, and he was so happy, man. You know what? He was so psyched, and he's like, I'm proud to call you brother, my brother, countryman, and all that. And I was getting off on him. I was like, that's so cool, like his like happiness about his patriotism to the country, everything he wanted to do. That's what the country is all about. Not this other stuff, come over illegally, just drain the system. No. And then there's a lot of criminals that came over. The terrorists came over, criminals came over, big, huge gang members, you know what I mean? And then and the cartel cashing in, getting $8,000-9,000 a person. Apparently that gives you 3 attempts to get to a larger city, like the Southwest in California or Arizona. But then think about where that money's coming from. Think about who's coming in, who has that kind of money to begin with. Are these the wretched refuse? How come they have tens of thousands of dollars if they are? How come they're wearing designer clothes coming through the door? The whole thing doesn't really make sense unless you look at a bigger plan, to collapse the system. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's been the Democrats' plan for a long time, is to collapse the system. It's just the country itself is like, no, screw you. We're not letting you do that.
I've heard the Pope say the very same stuff. I've heard the Pope say that Europe and America has had too much, and that we have to take on the burdens of the world and whatever. And we should have all these, but I don't see him opening his doors to all these guys. You know what I mean? But I see him talking all this stuff. Same for George Soros.
So I guess we're going to find out if it's the end of the world, because he's supposed to be the last pope.
You think
end of the world as you know it?
He says, not just him, all the writings say he's the last
and I feel fine.
I don't know, man.
Notre Dame says it, and there's always been a blank spot for the new popes. There's not a blank spot for this for after this.
If you read Baba Vanya, she's the new Notre Dame because she was more recent, and then she predicted Trump. She predicted his loss. She said he was going to lose to a major thing was going to happen. She even kind of said maybe a sickness or something like that. She said sickness, which was COVID, and that's what happened. And that's really what did. And then, but I'll tell you, she's the one who looked at Europe, saying that it wasn't going to be livable anymore. That Arabs were going to take over all of Europe. Like all these crazy things that she was saying, and then they're coming to fruition. But she was saying more like the lands there are going to be uninhabitable, and that was supposed to be around 2030, 2035 in that area. So I mean, I can see it happening. Unless people get on the peace wagon, I can see it happening. But you need to stop. People are so negative, and they're such haters, and then the media hate baits them, and they race bait them, and all this other stuff, and makes them hate even more. It's the worst possible emotions. It's the lowest vibration. It's something that you can't repair your body with. It's something you can't be happy with. You know what I mean? So, but that's where they are. They're not going to experience joy under those feelings, because they're always going to feel like the world is crashing down around them, and you create the reality around you. So what are they doing? It's terrorists, right? What do they do? They're all into the notion of Islam. It's not even Islam. It's not even Islam. If you read the Quran, it has nothing to do with. It's their interpretation, right? Their interpretation. Spanish Inquisition was their interpretation. And look what they did to Muslims and Jews. Mel Gibson to convert the Jew.
Jackie, I like that.
Say yes, don't be boring. Say yes, don't be shy.
Do you think
the fact
Trump will
that
make
you're
it?
ignoring?
What do y'all think? Do you think he'll make it? Well, a
What's up?
lot of scientists that say he's not going to make it. He's not going to get inaugurated. That he's going to die before it happens.
Oh,
It's let me tell you this: if it does, it will be the end of the world as we know.
He should
yes,
have
it
made
will
that
be.
Jimmy Dean guy, the sausage guy, vice president, man. Because he seems like he can get stuff done. Anybody who makes sausage can get stuff done.
He's bad.
Sean knows. That's even better. And you can't prosecute him if he's dead.
No, Joe, you're right though, man. If something happens to Trump, we're not gonna. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
Well, I was listening to that report from that Democrat guy that blew up the Tesla truck, or that guy blew up the Tesla truck. He said that he left a message saying he wanted to kill the Democrats. Then why would you blow up a truck in front of Trump Towers where you know it's going to be probably conservatives?
We're all
There's the
Americans
whole.
together.
You have to watch
people you
that.
need to unite.
I don't know what his name is, Joe. I might have to send you the link, but you'll be surprised. I mean, what people are hearing is what the news is saying, but this guy had this guy on, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
People
It's
need to
not
unite.
what you think. It's
Trump's
not
going
what.
to take this opportunity and unite people. He's really not too much with the rhetoric anymore. If you notice, he's not really getting down into the trenches as much. So I mean, but he needs to unite the country. He can. He can. It won't
He
take much,
can.
even if he doesn't want to. It's something that needs to happen.
I don't know. You're going to have a hard time with some of them Democrats. What were you finishing up, Sean? I didn't hear the last part of
I totally forgot what I was saying, dude.
See,
it. That's okay. It's
I'm like, no, I got to cut out of here at 10 o'clock. I
yeah,
gotta
well,
go
we're
to work.
wrapping up in 16 minutes. That's what time we
Okay.
have. Stephanie Willis Morrison. Well, hello, Stephanie Willis Morrison. Where are you from?
Jay didn't
Bulgaria.
make it. He said he was going to try.
What Bulgaria? What time? Yeah, Jay said he wasn't trying. So what do you got for us? What is this show about? It's about nothing and everything.
Yes.
Nothing in particular.
It is about nothing and everything. That is the best way I can describe it. It's the show about nothing.
We
Talk
talk
about everything.
whatever we want to talk about, whatever comes up.
Talk about
We
your
can
stinky
talk about
thing.
sissies that write us from Bulgaria at 3:00 in the morning.
Talk about your stank.
See what I'm saying? We can have anything we want. Denise. No, we needed a place. News on the flip side, really, no matter what we do on flip side, we've always got to do at least 1 hour in news because it is a news show. And then we can play whatever we want. On this show, if we want to talk politics and news, we can. If we don't really have to.
This is our safe space.
And since we're not going to really tell y'all on most cases what we're talking about, I mean, we'll give you a little taste, but like tonight, so we had a guest, which we ended about having. Y'all should go to Charis Melina Brown's page and say, where were you? Joe looks so sad, and you should go tell her that. So I just look heartbroken, yes.
Hey, did you find me a wife the other day? Anyone?
Charis make you a good wife. And she's right there in Virginia. So Charis make you a good wife. She's right there in Virginia. She's a Virginia girl. What do you mean, Marco? She's a chocolate girl. What are you talking about? Who you lose me. Just start over. Who are you talking about? Oh, Charis. Charis is yeah, she's mixed. If I believe correctly, her mom was black, her dad was white. If I remember correctly.
What's that got to make a difference? So what?
Her and her sister are both gorgeous. Yeah, I met both of them. Her mom was real nice too. My mom didn't like me because she thought I was after her daughter, which she didn't know until after we had lunch that I was married. And she's like, "Oh, you're married?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Long-term, happily married." Oh, I didn't. So, and we became good friends.
She's what is it? Mulatto. So what? Get a life, dude.
Yeah, I didn't really care. Martini. Where are y'all coming up with these names tonight? So Martini, where are you at? Scotland. Oh, Neo, where you been, man? I was wondering what happened to you. Neo. I'll tell you what. I don't trust you, so you tell me what property you bought 5 years ago, and I'll believe If you can tell me, and then I'll trust you. Because Neil and I are good friends, but I haven't talked to him like a year and a half, so I don't know what's up with you. Man, where have you been hiding, dude? This guy, I hate to say it like to see his parents had died about 10 years ago. He inherited a buttload of money. And then he gambled some of this money, not like in a casino, but on an investment, and tripled the amount he got. Went and bought him an $11 million castle, cash money, no
Wow.
financing. Remodeled the whole effing place top to bottom, and ever since it's been bugging me.
Well, why don't you go over, Joe? Shit.
I just, I can't go to Europe for less than a month. I just haven't been free up the last day. I don't care if I don't ever see it. If I can only go for a week or two, it's just going to irritate. I need to go for a month. There's things I want to see, and if I'm going over there, I want to see it. Well, there's things I want to go to England. I want to go to Stonehenge. I definitely want to go where all the crop circles happen. Just do it for myself. I want to go to Sky Island. There's a couple places I want to go. And then there's France and Germany, Italy, and Greece. I want to go to Venice. I got a lot of friends in Venice and family I can stay with. I got a lot of friends and family in Tuscany, or Tuscany Montaldo, which, if you know, that's my last name. So
Dude,
it's
you
a lot.
gotta go to Ireland, man.
Why do I go to Ireland? They're weird.
No, they're not.
They're weird. Irish people are weird. Even though I am 42% Irish, Scottish, Welsh.
Why are we weird? Why are we weird?
I'm weird too. I'm Irish, Scottish, Welsh. I can say that because I'm just as much. I'm actually more than most people are, because they're weird. Rye drinking, hot beer drinking German freakos is what they are. No, they're not
Great,
German.
Great whiskey, man.
They are. The majority of alcoholics in this country are Irish, by the way.
True.
They
Now, my
just,
question is, do you drink your Guinness warm temperature or cold?
okay, get me to drink a Guinness, you got to pay me money.
Why?
Because beer is nasty.
Yeah, I don't like beer either.
All beer is nasty, and plus I can't get a buzz off of beer, so I don't drink it. I found that, you know what happened with beer. I'll tell you what happened. So when I was like 8 or 9, my grandpa used to send me to get him beer out of the refrigerator. It was either Falstaff or Jackson. This is like mule kicking beer. And he'd come out and he'd put a little salt around the top of the beer, and I'd always take one little sip out of it. I didn't realize, because of that and sipping on your drinks, I developed this ungodly, wild, insane thing to alcohol. So beer, and I like the taste of some beers. It just all just make me, pee, and it's just a waste of. I bet you all Irish weirdos are proud to be weirdos. I mean, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah,
with it.
we are. We are. I'm weird.
Like I said, I'm probably more Irish than both of y'all.
No, you're not. Damn it.
Yeah, I am.
No.
I'm 42, 44%. That's pretty
Dude.
much, man.
I'm 80.
You like 8%? No, you like 8%, man. I don't believe you. I want to see that. What the hell you call that shit? I want to see your. I want to see your eulogy.
84%.
Oh, man. I want to see your gene thing, man.
My mom, she's 100%.
You know what I want to tell you? You know what I learned about getting your DNA done? Families lie or don't know the truth. So this is a perfect example. Linda's mom is 100% Italian. They came. Her dad, mom came over on the boat, right, from Sicily, no less. Nope, 100% Italian. They were about 84%, which made Linda about 40%. And actually about 38% is what she is. And she's second generation United States Italian. So what we found out was that for some reason it was Italy, I forgot the other country, and then the Isle, which means Irish, Scottish, Welsh, British, whatever you want to say. I just call it the Isle. Those two somehow bred together a lot. I don't know why, but it is a lot. And you see it because, you know what I think it is? Because the Romans were in Italy were in Ireland, Scotland, whatever you want to call it, for a long time. And I think a lot of their blood got mixed in with. But what's his face was supposed to be a Roman, the sword guy, Arthur.
Oh. When my mom got her ancestry back, she was like minus negative Polynesian.
So somewhere along the line, some Polynesian squirted in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's weird because and that's another thing that's weird. When I first got mine, the percentages were different, and then after they had it for like 2 years, it changed dramatically.
Yeah.
The amount of Italian blood and the amount of Irish Scottish Welsh blood I had went up a lot. So between the two, it's roughly about 80%. And before that, I was a mutt. Now I'm one shy of being 6 instead of 7.
It's funny how things work, man. I have a cousin who's 80% Irish Welsh, and I'm 8, no, maybe 4%, 6%, something like that. Minuscule amount, but same family line from going back to Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Yeah, those crossovers with parents and grandparents. And what happens is people don't realize sometimes they say they're 100%, and they don't realize like their great granddaddy or grandmama might have had a little,
A great grandmother on my like my mother's father's mother was Jewish, 100% Jewish, German anyway.
My dad's uncle, he was from Poland, so I got Polish. I got Eastern European. I got 12% of that.
Hey, you ain't allowed to drink then, sweetie. Put the shit down. Don't touch it. Now, I can't help you. I can't help you with this. Being a lifelong alcoholic, and coming from a family full of lifelong alcoholics and a family that owned several clubs and bars, I can tell you how to get over that. So liquor is a funny thing. Liquors affect people differently. Like I am not allowed to drink Jack Daniel bourbon. If you were to do this to me, I would punch you in the head.
What about Southern Comfort, though,
man? I can drink Southern Comfort out there. Well, matter of fact, I invented this Southern. You know what the Southern Screw is, right? Southern Comfort and orange juice. It's freaking fabulous. 101 Southern Comfort with it. The orange juice is fabulous. It doesn't make you sick. It feels good. But if you want to drink something that's going to make you happy, and not only leave you happy, won't even give you a hangover the next day, you drink White Russians. They make you giddy, they make you happy, and they don't give you a big hangover because the milk breaks up.
I met a dude in the club. That's exactly that. He said the trick to drinking is that you have to have a White Russian before, as your first drink, before you start drinking anything else.
Stomach with milk.
You have a White Russian, and then and you're not going to get smashed the rest of the night.
And there's a reason why every club in Louisiana has to serve food, because we've learned as a society here, if you eat while you're drinking, you don't get near as drunk.
Oh yeah.
And you don't get near as big a hangover. So what we would do is we'd drink all night. We went to this place called Gino's Speakeasy about 4:30 in the morning. They were serving hot po' boys. Man, you go in there and get a sloppy roast beef.
Po' boy.
We were on deck to the nine, man.
Give me a po' boy, man.
Oh man, they had fabulous. Of course, I couldn't tell if they were really good or not because we were all drunk when we were eating the damn things. But look, you didn't get no hangover. I taught my daughters that, my stepdaughters that, my kids. But if you want to drink, and shit, my stepdaughters probably outdrink most people in the country.
Chicken po' boy with that.
Yeah, every po' boy you could think of.
That real thick sauce, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, everybody would get in there and get their po' boys and then eat and then walk into the club and go back to clubbing. The bounty on Friday and Saturday night, you'd be on a dance floor. They would come out with big trays full of like fried shrimp, fried fish, fried hush puppies, all kind of meat and stuff. Just help you.
I like hush puppies. I love hush puppies.
Yeah, just it was all free.
That was Arthur Treacher's fish and chips. I don't know if you guys had them where you were.
Oh yeah.
They had great hush puppies, man. They had a badass chicken sandwich with coleslaw in there and that sauce they used, the hot sauce, and then hush puppies. Oh my god, that's back in the day.
So, but I mean, if you're drinking White Russians, they're going to generally make you giddy. They're not, and 3 or 4 of them will usually give the average person a good buzz, especially if you're drinking them with rum instead of vodka. I prefer vodka because vodka is a non-irritating
vodka.
It doesn't really give them hangovers.
How about sake, man? Sake will take you there.
Sake's good. A good sake I like if you can find it. It's got to be a good one. The other ones kind of taste like rice water, which is just nasty.
I got some Knob Creek 120 proof, whiskey on hand, man.
I've got a couple of bottles of whiskey in that. or
And it's
sent
so
to me.
smooth. You think that 120? It's actually called cask strength. So it's
Well,
the
I
strength
can't.
that comes out of the
Was it
barrel.
Rip Van Winkle or something? Somebody sent me a $18,000 bottle of whiskey, and
Well,
I
you
was
didn't
like,
crack it open, did you?
I sent it back.
There's whiskey that goes up there.
It's
Glenfiddich, you know,
well,
like
you know what's funny is I got a bottle sitting up there. It's a just regular everyday whiskey. It was 11 years old when they sold it, but it's been sitting in my counter for 14 years. So it's a 25-year-old bottle of whiskey.
nah, it's still 11 years old. The thing about whiskey, it doesn't mature in a bottle like wine. You know what I mean? Whiskey, if it's 10 years
No,
old,
it
you
doesn't
bought it,
that.
it's
It's
still
just a
10-year-old
simple date.
whiskey.
It makes it more valuable if
And
you
what
sell
it does
it.
is it evaporates too, which is a problem.
Okay, well, let me ask you guys this question: who ate the worm at the bottle of tequila?
I
Ate
have a
the
couple
worm,
times,
not me.
and I don't and every time I did, I ended up having to apologize to people. Worst one was a friend of mine, David, a good friend of mine, my godson, my son's godson father, went down to high school, brought back 3 bottles of mezcal. Well, a good friend of ours, David, who was an ex-Nami, and one of his friends sat down and drank 2 of them, ate the worms, and I'm not shitting you. They spent 3 days apologizing. 3 days. That's how many people they offended.
You know
Yeah.
what, man? I was never really a drinker because I worked in the club business at an early age, so I saw drunks and had to deal with them firsthand, which made me not want to be one.
Tequila,
And
tequila
then and I
sunrise.
drove everywhere too. I mean, I was the one who drove my friends and whatever. So, you know, I mean, like a little bit of booze here and there. I like to get a little buzz. That's kind of cool. It's hard to get me drunk. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's kind of weird. No matter what, like they tried when I worked in the bar
Well,
business. Like, you know,
well, you know what? At the end of my drinking career, I could not get drunk. I could not get drunk.
it came down to me as flavor. You know what I wanted to drink.
Yeah.
When I became a writer, I was going to all these clubs, and the club owners were like, "Hey, let me buy you a drink." And so I was told by my editor, he's like, "You know, it's rude that you're not drinking with these guys." And so I said, "Okay, you know, all right, I'll have whatever." And then I had to come up with a drink that I liked to drink. And I chose a white wine spritzer, which then I realized it was the gayest drink on the planet. All these guys are like, "Hi," you know what I mean? All right, all right. Out with the white wine spritzer. In comes rum and coke. Rum and coke was a good, consistent norm. You know, if it
Well, you
was a
know what?
fruitier bar, give me a margarita, man. I love a margarita. You know what I mean? But I don't like
Well,
being drunk. I don't like feeling drunk. Does that make sense?
that makes a lot of sense. Now, whenever I would mix anything with any type of sugary, like Coke or Pepsi or whatever, man, I used to get sicker than shit.
Yeah.
But I could not mix my liquor. I had to drink it straight.
I
I
like
can
to
do
sip whiskey. I've gotten into that just in the last 10, 12 years.
not just liquor. I can mix liquor, wine, beer, all
So
of
I'm
different.
Well, I
really into
couldn't.
sipping.
No, I'd be dead.
Like
I would be dead. Let
I
me
like
tell you this one.
sipping whiskey, but you don't get drunk. You're just sipping it. But I like the
The,
effect. I like the taste. I like the flavor. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things I like about it. But
I like a good whiskey with a good cigar. What were we saying, Sean?
but here's what I was saying. When I was in the service, it was New Year's Eve, and I'm drinking Budweiser all afternoon, all evening. Then at midnight, I had a little shot of champagne. Oh my God, I was out for 3 days, dude. I was
I'm
sick.
like Joe, though. I mean, I could drink beer and not get drunk off of it.
Yeah,
I
it's just.
you pee it out, and that's pretty much it.
Well, I still
You know?
at the brick oven. I still hold the record for the. I actually broke this record 3 different times. When I finally left it, it's 44 sweet drinks, all of them 100 proof or high. You have to drink all 44. And I think it's like 15 minutes or something.
I like ordering fruity drinks too, like Blue Hawaiian and stuff like
I'll,
that.
I'll drink. I'll
If
drink.
I'm
I'll
like
drink
in
anything.
that kind of environment, I'll take one of those umbrella drinks. The
But one of
taste of it.
my favorite combinations is a white Russian with a screaming orgasm. It's just
Remember
fucking
Funky
fast.
Cold Medina? Funky Cold Medina.
Yeah.
Have you
Absolute
ever,
Vodka was like a really big deal for that while.
screaming
know.
orgasms are taking it's like taking a shot of Hershey's syrup.
Goldschlager, that was
151
like a
proof
big
Hershey's
Goldschlager.
syrup.
People had to have that.
Heidi came up saying that how about the 3.2 beer they sell in the grocery stores? Oh my God. I'd had to drink like 12 cans of that just to get a buzz. 3.2 beer. Do you know, being an alcoholic that I am, I can't even drink that stuff that says non-alcoholic because there's actually alcohol in it. And what it would do to me is it would trigger in my mind, this tastes like regular beer. So I'd start drinking again. And I'm telling you what, guys, and I'm telling the whole world who's ever listening, if I took a drink again, I more than likely would take a bridge
Yeah,
because
it's hard to give it up, man. It's hard.
I can't go back to the life I was 30 some years ago. I can't do
Yeah,
it.
alcohol is terrible addiction. Man. Terrible.
It's a
But
tough
it's
one to give up.
great that you beat it. It shows that your strength. You know what I mean? Your resolve.
Yeah, somebody just asked me the other day if it was the hardest thing I gave up when I first quit. I said no.
It's
Actually,
alcohol. I think
it's
I can't do it, Joe. I'll take a bridge. I will.
it's well, a lot of people can. I mean, alcohol is just a hard thing to give up. It's one because it's socially acceptable.
is
It's
that?
one of the few things that is socially
Did
acceptable.
you guys just hear something weird?
Yeah,
I heard a
heard it.
hum for a minute, but I don't know
What?
what it was. I heard some kind of weird hum or something for a minute.
Yeah. It was like it just went right through it. The
It
hell
sounded
was
like if
that?
somebody turned on a vibrator or something. I have no idea what.
That was weird.
Jackie and Marco will take two questions. We got to go. It's already after. We started on time tonight. So, what question? What are we talking about next week? I have no idea.
Martha Stewart.
This show. Oh, you mean? I didn't think about that. For you talking about for Monday when he gets inaugurated. I didn't really think about taking over Monday. We have a lot of shows on Monday, and I don't know how fair that would be to them. I'll think about it. Maybe we'll do
In
something
case
special.
something happens, I'm not saying
Well, we have shows that we can throw in a place. Maybe I can give off. There's a couple shows that are in rerun for the holiday. I'll have to talk to Michelle if they are. Maybe we'll take over 2 slots. Do inauguration coverage on how beautiful Trump is in his golden gown. No, I'm going to post a poll on the website tomorrow, and on do y'all think the flag should be up or down for this? And you can tell me yes or no, and then we'll bring it up on next Friday's show.
I think it should be both. Up and down.
You know what I said? I said the front flags around him should all be flying at full mast, and the flags on the grounds and everything behind him should be flying at half mast. Whether they'll take my advice is hard to say.
Trump's going to shit a brick. If
But you
those
know what else,
flags
Heidi, you
have
can drink
mast.
that makes you a little goofy is a
They're
whiskey,
trying to push him
sour.
overboard.
A whiskey sour and a whiskey snowball both make you kind of goofy.
Whiskey sour. Man, that was back in the 70s.
And we just told you the other night, everybody and mama drinks that drink today.
Pina
Oh,
colada.
whiskey sours. Oh, God almighty.
It's
Oh.
it's funny. Liquor is like everything else; it comes and goes in fads. So when I first started drinking, umpteen moons ago, I didn't even know what a whiskey sour was, and then I found
Sex
out.
on the
But
beach,
I didn't
Alabama
like them.
Slammer.
But just recently, when I was in LA a couple of years ago, everywhere you went had specialty white whiskey sour. So here's a little story for you. So we walk into a burlesque show at the Roosevelt Hotel. Me and some very famous people. I got to mention their names. Famous authors and illustrators. So we walk in, order a whiskey sour. Girl comes up, hands me a whiskey sour. I go sit down with a few others. We're chatting, and I'm drinking my whiskey sour. They go up and order a drink, and she comes by. She says, "It's going to be $50 for your whiskey sour." And I looked up at her and started laughing. And so I went up to the bar to order me something else, and the guy said, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "Dude, if you want $50 for that whiskey sour, it's going to have to come with a happy ending." And he just looked at me like, "Wait, what?" I said, "You know what the heck a hell a happy ending is." He said, "What are you talking about for me?" I started laughing. I said, "No." I said, "But that's ridiculous." I said, "Especially since your clothes and they're off the stage." He said, "Oh yeah, they are off the stage." I said, "Don't worry about it. We're going to comp your drink then." And it's like the 4th drink I got comped at night. Time and day. Looking like, how the fuck do you get people to just give you shit? I said, because it's easier to shut me up. Just give it to me than argue with me for the next 5 hours till I get you to give it to me anyway. So it's easy. It was a good whiskey sour. It wasn't worth no $50, mind you, but it was a good whiskey sour. The best whiskey sour I've had so far, this lady made for me, this young woman. I was in Dragon Con in Atlanta the year before last, and she made a freaking fabulous. And it was so funny.
Mint julep, man. Come on, mint julep in New Orleans.
You see, I get burnt up because of New Orleans. So people, so you know what a mint julep in New Orleans? Don't order it for one reason. One, all the mint julep is in New Orleans is a glass full of 190 and a piece of mint leaf dropped in. That is a mint julep in New Orleans. I just thought I'd tell you that. I'm not kidding you. It's $1.90 and a piece of mint leaf. That's it. The first time, because I was thinking, I looked at it, it's kind of clear. So I went, it was like, started spitting, and I noticed a little flame there, this flaming thing in this middle of this fountain started flaming up and shit. I was like, what the fuck did you give me? And she said, you ordered I said, mint leaf. She said, oh, well, it's $1.90, and she said it's all $1.90 and a piece of mint leaf. He said, we put the mint in and let the alcohol run through it, so the alcohol's got kind of a minty flavor, and then we crush the mint on the top and throw a piece of leaf in there. I said, pure $1.90. I said, shouldn't that be on the menu? I said, nobody in this club, me and maybe three other people, the whole club can even drink $1.90. I'm like, no, enough of that. And my other favorite is a '57 Chevy with stolen plates. It's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's a weird drink. It's really good though, because I can drink harsh drinks, but I can drink sweet drinks too. So it's just, and a good Long Island iced tea, a good one. And I'm sure you know what I know because you're from New York. 'Cause not everybody down here makes a good Long Island iced tea. Some are really fabulous. Some are really suck. So I'm gonna give y'all a secret recipe, people, to cheat on a Long Island iced tea. Make you some sweet tea, get you some Johnny Walker Red, and it'll be the best Long Island iced tea you ever had. You don't have to put all them other ingredients in it. It is one of the, and we found it out by accident because we were all wanting to drink something one night, and there was no mixer in the house but tea.
It's got like 5 different types of alcohol.
It does, and so I said all we had was this Johnny Walker Red and iced tea, so we mixed them together, and we still all drink them today. That's how good they were.
I had a bartender, man. He made them beautifully. They just tasted good, but they were powerful drinks.
Oh, they are. They're a wicked drink.
Yeah, I'm one and done on something like that. I'm cool as long as I'm just chilling. It enhances the whole thing.
Now, for the ladies, come down and order a White Russian daiquiri. Tell them you want 2 extra shots. They're going to give you 2 shots of $1.90, but you got to get the big daiquiri, not the little daiquiri. And you'll sip on that daiquiri for 2-3 hours. By the time you're done with it, you'll be all happy and smiling. Nice mellow bud. You won't be all drunk. You're having a good time. It's a good way to catch a buzz. It's a fun way to catch. Daiquiris are just good. They make chocolate fudge daiquiris too, by the way. But we gotta go, guys and girls. It's past our sleep time.
Yep.
Sean turns into a pumpkin at 11 o'clock. It's already 10 o'clock this time. We can't.
I'm up all night.
Yeah,
Mike
man.
turns into Boiling Karloff, so a Boils Karloff, so we don't want to see that either. Heidi, nice seeing you in here. Everybody else who came in, stopped by, good to see him. Everybody's welcome, by the way, guys. And remember, if you have questions, pop them in the room. We'll see them. If you're on a messenger, and you want to come in the room, you can do that. Or if you just want to come pop in and get on air with us, you can do that too. We since we don't do phone calls anymore, we allow for people to come in the chat with us, hop on and get on the mic and camera with us.
They gotta dance though. They gotta do some kind of dance. Happy dance.
They gotta do the Trump dance.
Yeah, the Trump dance. Come on, man. Let's do it.
Everybody gotta do the Trump dance. It's
Where's my banana? I'll use one.
All I know is every time Kamala Harris sees that, she must just crap herself. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be any problems with this.
She didn't even know how to do the Pledge of Allegiance the other day, man. She plugged it.
Speaking of that, so y'all know the first version of Pledge of Allegiance was like 1892 is when it was written, and it's not the one we say today, by the way. First off, they added into it not my flag, United States flag or something. I have to look. And then later on in the 50s, they added in God We Trust at the bottom. It wasn't originally, it didn't originally have a God We Trust. Originally, it said my flag. I pledge allegiance to my flag. And now it's
to the flag of the United States of America.
But they didn't have it. That's not how it was written.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And see, and that is not even the thing. Y'all should go read the original version. The original version didn't say the United States. It didn't say in God We Trust either. In the second version, which they said until 1953, didn't say in God We Trust either.
Welcome to the colony.
So, well, it's just kind of weird how we change things that are so important to us. I wonder sometime if the Star Spangled Banner hasn't been changed a
I
lot.
thought it was a hassle in school. Of course, I pledge allegiance. It's the country I'm in. I don't have to do it every day. You got excessive, man.
I love my country. That's all you need to hear.
We had to sing too, though. You got to do
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
pledge.
Yeah, everybody had to sing.
Oh,
Till
say
12th
can
grade, we had
you see?
And 4 of the public schools I went to made you do a morning prayer. Catholic schools I went to.
You had to put your hand over your heart too, man. There was that.
Yeah, you did. And then, but when I was in private school, you didn't have to do none of that shit.
It's weird, man. It's a weird ritual. I don't know.
Good night,
So
guys.
you salute for the Star Spangled Banner. You put your hand over your heart. Okay. Anyway, Sean's got to go. He's getting ready. We're trying to keep from turning into a pumpkin. So, Sean, nice having you with us tonight.
See you, Sean.
Mike, love to let you get out of here. Guys and girls, any moans, groans, bitches, complaints, please write to Michelle DeRoche. She loves hearing this kind of stuff. She said you said the meaner you are, the better she likes it. She likes to be abused. Like, how can I say she's that kind of girl?
Oh, God.
I didn't make her like that. You get better talk to Wayne. Maybe he did. But anyway, on that note, we got to go. Thanks again for tuning into the new show, The Chat. Maybe it's going to stay in this slot. I don't know. It's looking pretty good here. Last week it did really well. Week before last it did really well. I think this is its 4th show now. 2 shows were out of context. 2 shows were on this night. 2 shows were out of context because we were doing specials. So anyway, on that note, thanks again for you tuning in to United Public Radio, The Chat. We're here with Sean, Michael, and Joe. I hope y'all enjoyed it again, and I'll see y'all. Well, I'm off until Wednesday, so have some fun.
All righty, guys. Good night.
Sean's here on Tuesday.
Good night.
And Sunday.